Logging into RuneScape and not seeing a treasure hunter icon upon login after more than a decade of seeing it is a strange feeling. Something's missing, but it doesn't feel negative. It feels calming, as if an itchy rash suddenly vanished. If you try to look for treasure hunters specifically, you're presented with this interface. If the ongoing MTX experiment has made you feel any differently, you should absolutely give Jagex feedback through their official survey. The reason being is your feedback could literally change the game in the near future. In this video, I'll be going over some of the key questions from the survey while also sharing my own thoughts and perspectives. My goal here isn't to sway your opinion regardless of where you fall on the love it or hate it MTX spectrum. This is purely about raising awareness. I'll be dropping a link to the survey down below, and I encourage you to complete the survey as honest as possible. So whenever you're ready, grab yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The first relevant question is, based on what you've experienced during this experiment, how do you feel about the removal of Treasure Hunter overall? To this, I answered very positive, because removing a system that manipulates players with the promise of bunches of bonus XP, skilling boosters, and cosmetics, often at unreasonable odds, feels like a step in the right direction. How do you feel about the removal of Treasure Hunter impacting your experience of daily challenges? Well, at first I wanted to say a bit less rewarding because you're missing those extra daily keys you gain. You simply gain less XP from that quick little daily you do, which in my case is usually chopping a bunch of logs and then claiming the challenge and done. But at the same time, how it's set up currently with this experiment, you don't actually lose those keys, you get them at the end of the event, so you kind of save them up, including your daily login. And Jagex did this to keep the players happy, of course, but it kind of... it doesn't really... It's not going to properly give them the right data. So the way you should view this question is, if they were actually gone and you wouldn't gain any keys from the daily challenges, then yes, they would feel less rewarding. This might be a hot take, but personally I would be okay with Treasure Hunter keys being removed from daily challenges, with a slight compensation to daily challenges, giving a little bit more XP directly. Because let's be real, those extra Treasure Hunter keys usually result in extra bonus XP from stars or extra XP from lamps from Treasure Hunter. Otherwise, you might get one of those Hero Pass situations where removing XP players have gotten used to over the years feels like taking the bot away from a baby. So one side not nerfing it retains daily escape, but on the other hand, players with limited time appreciate that quick little daily boost that daily challenges and their additional key reward provide. Personally though, as someone who's against mundane and boring grinds, I would try to avoid nerfing any kind of XP rates or XP per day from things players have gotten used to. Removing the RNG element or removing interactions with Treasure Hunter though, all good. Now, instead of Treasure Hunter, throughout this event you're able to buy direct XP bundles containing either prismatic stars, which can be used to obtain bonus experience, and you are able to buy bundles of small knowledge bombs. These are items that give you 50% extra additional XP for 1 hour each. Now, I don't know about you, but being able to buy 10 hours worth of 50% more XP and bonus XP is simply way too high. I'm not sure what Jagex was thinking here. Yes, these bundles may have had to be attractive enough to, persuade players to buy them instead of Treasure Hunter keys, since they couldn't buy Treasure Hunter keys, or they can't, as of making this video. But being able to buy 10 hours every 24 hours of 50% additional XP, which stacks with other things, is absurd. Absurd. Completely absurd and ridiculous. That's, I don't think there's many players that play more than 10 hours per day on average. So basically you would be able to have, if you were willing to spend that money, 50% additional XP permanently. Personally, I think that buying these bundles is okay as an alternative to Treasure Hunter, but in limited quantities. Perhaps maybe like 5 bombs a week at maximum. I mean, we also had Prime Gaming, which gave you 5 every 2 months or so. So, you need to have something to get rid of Treasure Hunter. Maybe 7 a week, 1 bomb per day kind of thing. As for stars, you could probably do the math and get something similar in terms of bonus XP to Euro or whatever. In terms of impact these things have on my enjoyment of the game, they have 0 impact. Yes, being able to get a grind done a little bit faster is nice, but it doesn't really impact the enjoyment of the game. If I'm using a knowledge bomb or bonus XP, it's generally to reduce a grind I'm really not paying attention to anyway, and AFKing through some of the laziest methods known to man. So no, being able to do a grind faster doesn't necessarily make the game more fun. I would be very interested to see the results of this question specifically, because I think a lot of players treat the grindy parts of the game as second monitor content. Or mobile phone content. So do I prefer bonus XP start knowledge bombs in direct purchase options to Treasure Hunter? Yes, I slightly prefer this system because it removes the gambling part. It's more ethical and probably less overpowered too, for the whales anyway. At least if they're limited, that is. Now, I remember before this survey and experiment happened, a post shared a little bit of data from a previous survey, and 63% of ex-players said they would be more likely to return if they address key concerns with XP-related MTX. For me personally, though, if we look at the next question, if Treasure Hunter was removed today, permanently would not come back, it would actually not impact how often I personally play RuneScape, because the reason I still play is for that new content, the new exciting skilling method, new items that modify training methods, new bosses, new skill releases usually have a block for X month so that the world's first race is more fair. So it wouldn't really affect how often I would play. Good content, releasing more good content would definitely affect how much I would play. That being said, if Treasure Hunter was permanently removed, how would this impact how likely I would be able to recommend playing RuneScape to a friend? I would be slightly more likely because I do know that microtransactions turn players off, or possible new players off from the game. I've had IRL friends tell me this, I've had online friends tell me this. It definitely is a thing. Now, how much do I agree or disagree with the following statements about potential changes from this experiment? Would removing Treasure Hunter permanently make the game feel more balanced? Yes, I agree, but I don't strongly agree because it would very much depend on the alternative or the things Jagex is going to implement to offset the loss in revenue, i.e. those XP bundles or knowledge bomb bundles. I trust the RuneScape developers when we're making updates to the game. I put agree here, but I'm not sure what this question is doing here. Are we talking MTX developers or content developers or art team or what? The next question, I like the direction RuneScape is going in. I put agree here because experimenting with the removal of an MTX system which directly cuts into profits despite its short duration of a week is commendable and a true first for Jagex. Removing Treasure Hunter and adding XP bundles make the game feel more fair. I put neither disagree nor agree here because I still don't think it's fair because you'll be able to skip by paying or speed up by paying, so it's not really fair. Maybe I should put disagree here. And make the game feel too grindy? I disagree here because skills are still definitely very fast without microtransactions. I wouldn't say too grindy, but they will make skills a little bit more grindy than they were before. Removing Treasure Hunter definitely does not make it too difficult to achieve levels you need for content. Yes, they'll be slower, similar to the last question, but it will not be too difficult at all. Finally, I trust Jagex when making updates to the game. Opposed to the developers here, I put disagree because Jagex really has a tendency of not really delivering on the promises more often than not. And while I am optimistic about changes like this one, I still have to see them follow through, and only time will tell if they truly do. With that being said, we've covered the main questions or the most important questions related to the experiment in this video, and I assume Jagex is going to share the results with us somewhere in the coming weeks. If you're interested in the survey, again, I'll link a Reddit post with a link to the survey down below. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.